So behind the wheel, the Mustang Mach 1, of course it is stiff. This is meant to be a track car, but it sounds so good. And I hate doing test drives like this because all I want to do is take this car to the track and just shred in it. But I want to give a huge shout out again to Ford Lincoln of Franklin for allowing me to review this car just here in town. So I'm not going to do anything crazy with it, but I definitely want to show off how it drives. Again, the ride is not smooth. I think the Recaro seats do help with making it more comfortable though. But I mean, this thing's so low to the ground, you can't expect it to be smooth. That, and again, this is meant to be a track car. So it's a driving machine, it's not a comfort machine. If you want something like that, get your Navigator. But driving dynamics feel really good. I love keeping the steering mode in sport mode because I just love getting that full feel of the road. Now, when driving around town, I do recommend keeping it in normal mode unless you have room to get a good pull or something like that, because it wants to shift and it wants to drive aggressively in that Sport Plus mode. So if you're driving in stop and go traffic, it's probably not the best thing to do, at least so you're not getting jerked around. But I love how it shows me what gear I'm in as I'm driving, even in auto mode. And then if I want to put it into sport mode, I can just hit that there. And the shifts are so quick. And especially with this exhaust, it's just so much fun to downshift. So I misspoke earlier. I thought this was a sport mode, and then I was like, no, it's supposed to be the sport shift mode, but this is a sport mode, pulling it all the way down to that S. And then it basically takes the place of the normal drive mode. So when I go through the modes now, it'll only show me sport, sport plus, track, and then drag strip. But then when I put it back into normal drive, that sport turns into the normal mode. So you don't have a sport and normal at the same time. You either have sport and sport plus, or you have normal and sport plus, but you always have that sport plus. But I actually like the sport mode. It seems a little less shaky in terms of how it wants to shift as opposed to the sport plus. But ride quality in here, like I said, it's not gonna be smooth, but it just sounds so good. When I take this car out, I mean, I wouldn't recommend taking it all the way across the country. You can, but I kind of have back problems, and with that, I wouldn't recommend it. But just for the sound of this car alone, I probably could get over it. But this is meant to be a car that you take to the track. This is meant to be a car that you do fast pulls with, and this, it does its job right. It really does. I don't even want to drive this in normal mode, just driving around town, because I just love keeping the engine hot, keeping the revs high. But all in all, a pretty decent driving car, even in town here. And the sound, oh, the sound is so fantastic. I'm gonna put it into, you know, I'm gonna leave it in sport mode. I don't wanna have it in sport plus. But I am going to use the paddle shifters. It takes corners like nothing. And you don't even have to put your foot in this thing to get up and go. It just delivers power to those rear wheels like it's nothing. Just fantastic feel. I mean, it's just so quick. gonna try and keep up with traffic here. Gonna turn the paddle shifters off. But again, just pulls so effortlessly. Such a fun car to drive. And visibility, even though it's a coupe, it does, I mean, you have the blind spot monitors, which is nice, but all you have to do is put your foot down and get over. Because 99% of the cars on the road either can't keep up with you or are not trying to keep up with you. They see you driving one of these. But in terms of competition versus the Camaro, the Challenger, some might even say, if you want to compare it to a WRX STI, this just has the most terrific exhaust, the most terrific engine sound, and it's still top dog when it comes to that. And I definitely recommend getting this Mach 1 because it just looks great. It has all of the ride damping and the sport modes. It's just a fun car to drive. But this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Ford Mustang Mach 1.